G'day everyone, I'm Jazza, Pokemon Master when I was 12. I love and remember all of the original 150 Pokemon. Or is it 151? I don't remember. But any generations that come after that, I'm pretty oblivious to. And I thought it would be fun today, because I'm so unfamiliar with them, I've asked my team to prep the descriptions from the Pokedex entries of a bunch of these newer Pokemon, and I'm gonna try and draw them from only their Pokedex descriptions. Mystery Pokemon number 1. Okay, Pokedex entry, you ready?
Its prey is instantaneously frozen stiff by the cold air it exhales from its huge mouth. While they're in that frozen state, it gobbles them up.
Wow, okay. Now this is cool. I've got quite a bit of detail here from the Pokedex entries. And I think before we draw Pokemon though, I need to draw a Pokemon trainer because we're given height and stuff. And I'm gonna want a direct point of comparison with all of our Pokemon. And since I am your plucky Pokemon trainer for the day, I'm gonna be drawing the Jazza Pokemon trainer. Now, of course, in the Pokemon world, it's the young whippersnappers who go out on their Pokemon journey. So I'm not drawing Jazza today, I'm drawing little young Jazza. Little 10-year-old heading off on his Pokemon journey, having no idea who any of these Pokemon are. Starting using my construction pencil and roughing in the pose and proportions of my character before I move on to a little bit of sketch work and then some line work. The line work filled in, it's time to move on to color. As you can see, I've gone with a little bit of a perplexed expression, I think because I'm anticipating having no idea what the resulting Pokemon are gonna look or act like and if they're actually accurate to the real Pokemon. But that aside, I'm an upbeat, optimistic Pokemon trainer out to adventure. As you can tell with my coloring style, I've gone for a really simple concept art style, just marker, roughed over the whole piece. He doesn't need to be super detailed, he's just our point of reference and I guess just a little bit of concept art on the side for you guys to help place these Pokemon creatures I'm gonna draw. And I think is gonna really help our vision come together. All right, now I've got my Jazza Pokemon trainer, most importantly as a reference, specifically for size. So I'm gonna add a little scale here. Let's just say Pokemon trainer Jazza is 4 foot tall. Is that an average height for a 10-year-old? Okay, now we can draw a Pokemon. So let's start with the huge mouth. Oh my God, it's 4 foot 11 inches. It's taller than me. This is terrifying. I feel like, I don't know if a Pokemon would actually look like that. I think I need to wind it back. Original 151 Pokemon. Nothing is too jagged. Even the scarier looking things, they're still generally pretty simple. And I think the main thing to focus on is silhouette. They all have a really clear silhouette, limited color palette, but very specific and clear color palette. So let's go with a big old whoa. Now, ice Pokemon, that'll help with the design, but also the gobbling bit. If it's got a mouth big enough to gobble Pokemon, it'll have a tummy big enough to hold and digest Pokemon. Let's add a tail with a little ball at the end. That feels Pokemon-ish. Why do I want to draw like tears, like running mascara? I don't know, but it feels right. This time, let's go a little bit dramatic. I'm gonna use my thick oils and give this whole thing base color in a purplish blue hue, which I'll gradient up from towards a nice, sharp, bright, icy blue. And when it comes to the color scheme, generally you want to stick to the palette of 2 to 3 max, but with only 1 or 2 being really standout. In this instance, purplish blue up to the sharp light blue is my main approach to color, but I've gone with a deep, more aqua greeny blue for inside the mouth, just to give it a point of difference, so it's clear that some sort of magical Pokemon energy comes from inside there. It highlights up towards a blue so it still feels cold, but you know, just gives a slight point of difference to the rest of the Pokemon. All right, this is my first Pokemon, and I think it's only fair that I name it, because even if I get it so wrong, at least I've invented my own Pokemon. So this is Gobblesicle. Sounds so wrong, but I'm going with it. Gobsicle. Ooh, I need to add the cold air, you guys. That's so easy though, because I have a cloud brush. Check this out. How's that for cold air? That's the magic of my Photoshop brush. Do you know what? I haven't talked about those in a while. I'm gonna shout them out. For those of you who don't know, we have created over 83 high quality digital brushes that are used not only in Photoshop, but in Krita, Procreate, and Clip Studio. It's the most comprehensive single pack of brushes you will ever be able to find that all work beautifully together in multiple programs, and it bundles with my digital painting guide. The digital painting guide, which was created using all of our brushes, will serve you so well in your digital painting journey, whether you're painting on your iPad or a PC. So go check it out. Links in the description. I'm gonna give you an extra 10% off of the already discounted bundle if you use the code ICHOOSEYOU. I think that's pretty fitting. I choose you an extra 10% off. Links in the description. It's a direct support to the channel and enables us to make awesome content like this and awesome products like that, which, by the way, my old brush set, I still get people 8 years later telling me they use them every day. This brush set is phenomenal. They took us all of last year to make, and you're gonna love them. So my creation is Gobsicle. You start writing in the comments who you think it is, but the reveal is, ready? It's Glalie. Okay, hang on, 4'11". That's huge.
That's what she said.
Look at this. All right, this is the actual Pokemon at actual scale. Boom! I don't think any of my Pokemon designs are gonna end up anywhere near the actual Pokemon designs, but there it is, the actual Pokemon who has that Pokedex entry next to my interpretation of that Pokedex entry. All right, let's do another one. All right, Pokemon number 2.
It looks somehow pained as it rages around in search of light, which serves as its energy. It's apparently from another world.
Ooh, very interesting. 7'10". These are all huge. And it's a psychic type Pokemon. Now, when you reference the original 151, psychic types tend to sort of be purple in color scheme, so I'll probably anchor to that. I know they tend to veer from that, especially later in the Pokemon designs, but I gotta anchor to safer stuff to see if I can actually get close to what I'm trying to replicate. 7'10". I have to change my scale. I can't. 7 foot? I'm 4 foot. All right. It's apparently from another world. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is Mr. Burns when he's going around the forest on drugs.
I bring you love.
So I'm gonna roll with that to start with. Sort of like this tall, flowing design. So we've got rage eyebrows, sad eyes, prism armor, psychic. I'm gonna go creepier. I think with a psychic Pokemon looking for light, you know, like the default like sheet over the person like ghost costume. I feel like that could be interesting to have like over the top half of the body with like a wavy like sheet and an arm poking out from under, holding like a candelabra. I have no idea where to go with this. It's heavy though. That looks too floaty. Let's give dinosaur legs. That'll contextualize the weight. Ooh, I'm swapping. Okay, instead of a candelabra, it's holding a lantern. And the lantern can like absorb light. That way it's not like a flame or whatever. It could like, maybe it like leeches light or something. I have no idea what this is. With a rough design in place, that means it's time to chuck in some definition. And in this case, I wanted to go a little more ethereal. So I use my Impact ink brush using color outlines instead of black, just to give it a bit more of a rougher aesthetic with watercolor underneath, just to soften it all and keep it feeling a little more mystical. I decided when drawing, instead of having claws, I gave it sort of noodly fingers and toes. That feels a little more alien, which I think we're sort of alluding to that it might be from another world. A little less sharp, a little more squidgy, goopy looking. Now, of course, for the ghosty bedsheet vibe, we're sticking to the white bedsheet. So it's just really soft light grey shading. But for the creature itself, I went with purple and pink, which of course leans both into a psychic type color and a more alien feel. So that's what I ended up with. You know, it looks a little bit like Barney the dinosaur wearing a bedsheet, but let's name him Barnishi. There you go, Barney in a bedsheet. Let's see what the actual one is. Ooh, whoa, Necrozma. Whoa.
Wow.
That is nuts looking. I've never seen that Pokemon at all. God, that's terrifying. Ready for it? This, I mean, let's hide mine for a second. This is the actual, like, look at that child. Look at that little child expected to go capture this Pokemon.
You dare disturb Necrozma?
Oh my God, it's terrifying. All right, lucky last. Pokemon number 3.
Its wings pack devastating power. A light fluttering of its wings can blow apart regular
House. Oh my God. Oh my God. Children. You're sending children out to these creatures. It's 17 feet tall. All right, how the hell do we approach this? First of all, we got to adjust our scale again. This was the previous adjusted scale. We're doubling it again, and yeah, and then some. 17 and 1 inch. So we're like, bing, right there. All right, we're gonna make some room. I sort of picture something snake-like. Right, and that sort of works for, like, you know, you have creatures like Onyx or Gyarados, right? That makes sense scale-wise for it to be able to be so huge. I don't think I'd go bipedal with this one. And then I think with wings, rather than sort of do these things, I sort of picture them like coming out of the body. Then it would make sense to me that the wings are just sort of part of its body moving, and that would work underwater. And this isn't a nasty creature. This is actually quite an empathetic Pokemon for how huge and devastating this Pokemon is. It chooses to live deep undersea and out of sight. It's like, I'm sorry guys, I really don't want to break your house. I was just trying to go to the shops and it just happened. I'm sorry. That's its voice, I've decided. Hey you guys, sorry, could you just scooch over a smidge? You got these large wings and I don't mean to break your house, but I just did. I'm sorry. This one doesn't have arms, I don't reckon. Can't really have like, just hands coming out. Maybe I can. All right, let's do it. In fact, he's got like these cooped up little arms. He's just like, he keeps to himself. He wishes he could do that with his wings. He wishes he could just go like suck them, but he's, you know, he can't. He can't control where his wings are. We give it a little like leaf-like tail that could be used to sort of help navigate underwater. If it lives deep underwater, it can breathe underwater. It has gills. I gave it these little antennae. Let's, especially with the underwater thing, let's lean into that. You know those weird deep underwater things that have like the light on the, you know what I'm talking about, right? Let's give it one of those. And that sort of feels like ethereal, a glowing light. I think this is pretty good. Okay, let's do it. For this one, I decided to use my watercolor pencil, which is just a much softer version of some of the other pencils I have in my brush set. And I'm gonna use a mix of more wet and soft mediums, again, to sort of mix with that wet and underwater ethereal feeling. Now in terms of color scheme, for this one, I started off with the purple base and then leaning towards the bluer side, but I've been sort of very bluey purple in my Pokemon colors, and they don't always stick to that. So let's shake it up a bit. I'm gonna do the fill in middle parts of his wings, more of an orange. I think that'll be interesting and will complement nicely with this range of blues. The cloudy watercolor brush I'm using here, as you can see, has a slight color and texture variation as you use it, which is really cool, especially for a watery effect like this. Really minimal work, you end up with a really organic look that, in this instance, I think really complements this deep sea psychic Pokemon vibe. And I don't know how I ended up with it, but he's got these little white booties. For some reason, I don't know why that's the only item of clothing he has and why he's wearing booties, but it happened and I'm not gonna complain. I kind of like it. And this is my Pokemon journey, damn it. And just to finish him off, I'm gonna grab a nice light peach, give him a little blush, there you go. Just to suit his, oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to wreck your house. Okay, I'm weirdly happy with that. I actually think the orange wings have a fearsome look about them, but you know, it looks pretty and it all goes well together. So, name. I'm sort of torn between like something of a crushing vibe or something of a squidgy vibe. This Pokemon is called Flap Whoopsie, because it just goes flap and then whoopsie. Let's find out who's that Pokemon, as they say. You ready? Oh my god! Lugia! Lugia, I know that one. It's on the cover of stuff. I didn't know it lived underwater. I'm so not in Pokemon lore or up to date. There it is. That is a big Pokemon. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blow down your house. Wow, that's huge. Okay. Their wings? They're big baseball mitts. They're not wings. That's cool. It's really interesting that the prompts can just be so wildly detached from the actual Pokemon design. But it's a fun exercise because I end up with Flap Whoopsie, who I love. And in fact, look, I've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed it too, but I think Flap Whoopsie deserves to do the sign off. Hi, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. I hope we can be friends in future. We could go on adventures together. I mean, that sounds nice in theory, but you knocked over our f***ing house, mate. Oh yeah, that, I'm sorry. Would it make you feel better if the people watching this hit subscribe and joined you on your Pokemon journey? Yeah, you know what? When I think about it, when I really think about the viewers clicking that subscribe button or smashing that like button, even leaving a nice comment, that just really brightens my day. Yeah, me too. It just makes me really want to flap my wings for joy. No, Flap Whoopsie, don't! Flap Whoopsie! Thanks for watching. My word.